Hey, so forgive me. I just woke up and I'm still a little groggy, but I felt led to share this last night and I fell asleep. And so I'm sorry. It was first on my brain this morning and I want to jump up and share. So forgive me because my brain's not, because I tried to record this and was talking and talking and realized that I didn't press the record button. So I hope that doesn't give light to how the rest of my day is going to go. So anyway, let me jump right on in. So somebody said something over the weekend and it got me in a thought process. So I'm not saying this is revelation. This is the way that it is. This was just something that had me thinking and maybe to get you thinking and maybe you can come up with the answer. So I'm real big on let's say like with my job, if my supervisor or manager or whatever has worked my job, it's easier for me to take instruction from them because they've been in my position. They know what my job entails. They know, the ins and out of it. And, they've worked their way up. Then for somebody to be sitting behind a desk looking at numbers and saying, oh, this is what you should be doing. This is how it should be, not knowing anything of exactly how my job is because they haven't worked it. They haven't been in my place. So it kind of led me into following Jesus. So he came down as our example to preach, to teach, to heal, to live a sinless life with love, with kindness. And we should look at that in the same way that boss, let's just use boss for the moment, him being our boss, let me not say boss, because that sometimes gives bad, leader. Him being our leader, he has been in our position. And you may think, and believe me, because I have been there, I'm like, there's no way Jesus can understand what I've been through because he did not go exactly in what I have been through. We don't have to go through the same things and still feel the same emotions, same fears, if that makes sense. Like there was me and a couple that were going through different things at the same time, but when they shared their experience, they were going through the same, feeling the same things, praying for the same things. They were praying for God's leading. They were praying for patience. They were praying for, to follow God's will at that time. Praying for, confusion, be delivered from confusion. Those are the same things I was praying for. And we were going through two totally different things. So even though Jesus was not maybe in your exact position, because your position may have been bred from sin, like mine was, but he still would have those fears, anxieties at some point, heartbreak. Anyway, point being, he's been where we have been, so it should be easier for us to take him as a leader and be able to follow him in that way because, again, that instruction that comes from him comes from a place that he's already been. Excuse me. So going back to what I heard. So along the lines of what I heard was when Jesus went and raised Lazarus from the dead, it was to show us or be a symbol of what he was going to do when he was raised from the dead. So it really got me thinking because, and I'm not 100%, and I probably should have looked it up before I got on here, but I remember someone saying something along the lines of, per Jewish law, you have to be dead at least 3 days for some reason. And again, I am sorry I did not look this up before I got on here. And I could be completely wrong, but I'm fairly certain that somebody said that was... let me not go on to my thoughts. Let me stick to the course. So Lazarus was past those 3 days. He was dead 4 days because I was like, wait a minute. Well, he raised, was it Tabitha? When when the father came to Jesus and he's like, my daughter's sick, please come to my home. And Jesus was walking that way, but the woman with the issue of blood stopped him. She healed him. Healed her. And then the man's servants, families, whatever it was, they came. They're like, don't bother the master. Your daughter's already dead. And Jesus goes anyway. And of course he raises her. And I'm assuming just a couple hours maybe that happened. So I'm like, God, I don't understand what's the difference in that and Lazarus because both he raised from the dead. And I felt he said it had to do with the 4 days, because Lazarus was dead for those 4 days. So that was to give a symbol to what was going to happen when Jesus, to make it more, I guess, I don't want to say believable, but that's all I can think of. Because it is hard. It's hard to believe that somebody can be healed if you haven't seen it before. It's hard to believe in what you're believing in if you haven't seen someone else. There's something that I'm praying for, and it was hard because it seems like it's so out there and it doesn't make sense. And I can't make sense of it. And yes, I've learned to stop trying to worry about it. Trust him. It's going to happen because he said it's going to happen. But one time I asked, I was like, God, I need to see someone that has been in my position and come out the other side and let me see. And I'll be dog if he didn't do it. And I mean, did it in a way that I knew had to be him. And I will reveal that story after he answers that prayer. So if you want to know what that story is and hear that answer, then pray that he will have that to happen. So anyway, I believe, or I've been thinking, and that's what I've said. I don't know if it's a revelation. I just felt like it was something that has really been on my brain the weekend because of this. But it makes sense. He went and raised Lazarus to show back then the Jews, by their law, their beliefs, that it can be done, that a man could be, or a person can be raised from the dead, completely dead, in order to show that he can too, that he is the Messiah, that he is the chosen one, that he is the Lord and Savior, that he is the Son of God, that they had so hard of a time believing and trying to disprove. But then, yes, and then it took me on the route of, it should be easier for us to take that correction and instruction, because and it is hard, because I have been there. When you're sitting in a sermon and the preacher's preaching and you feel that guilt hit you, and it's like, ouch, and for a moment it's like, I'm doing wrong. Should I really just even keep going? It's not really, worth it, and blah, 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 blah. But no, you take those as moments of saying, okay, I did wrong. I'm working to do better. God just showed me or told me how I need to do that. Does the preacher really know that it's that message directed towards you? No. And there is a funny thing that goes around on TikTok that shows people walking out of church with their heads hung and being like, that moment that you walk out of church and God told preacher all your sins. And no, that's not really the case. I thought it was funny, but that's what it does feel like. And it's not that the preacher knows those things, it's just whatever message the Lord has laid on his heart, because that need to be shared with you. And it's got to be shared in a way like that to make you see. Because, no, let me not go that way. Let me stick to this. So take those times of correction and instruction. When you feel a pull or a tug on your heart, that's him trying to say, come on, let's do this. I'm working with you. These are things that need to change and to make you and grow you into a better person. And it's not to be, these are the laws. This is what you have to do. Because I don't know of any person that has been saved and done that walk that has said, I felt God tell me it's got to be this way or no way. Never heard it. And for me personally, it was things that I once loved and liked and enjoyed, and then realized I didn't even have a desire for it anymore. Because yes, I will sit here and tell you, one of the reasons I did not want to, I was saved when I was 16, but I didn't really have a relationship with God. And there is a difference in being saved and having a relationship. And during that same time, I didn't want to come close. There was times I would see how people acted, and I would see that inconsistency and was like, well, what's different than what I'm doing? But it was also the ones that I saw were truly walking, and it was like, but they don't have any fun. They don't watch TV. I'd have to quit watching the things that I watch, or listen to the songs that I'm listening to, or do this, and this that I do now. Why? Really, why? But when I truly rededicated my life, because I had come to the end of myself and I was going through a lot of things, those things I no longer wanted. I even tried one time. There was one of my shows that I watched all the time. I tried to go back and finish it because it was like the last season. And I started watching it, and I stopped because I'm like, I don't even want to watch it. It wasn't anything that entertained me. So that was where I knew that God had changed me and grew me. That's right. Not even realizing it. But not once did he say, stop watching this. You are not to watch this. You are not to do this. It was things that I just no longer had a desire for. And it's weird because those things that you always, I didn't want to listen to Christian music. I was like, why? There's no reason. And I didn't want to give up my 80s music. No, there's still music that I still listen to. I don't have a desire to listen to it as much as I do the Christian music, because there's Christian music that, fills me, because it gives me that happiness and that joy. And I can, just as with regular music, when I could feel the words and understand it, it's the same thing with Christian music. I just feel deeper and more love. And there's not, like they say about country music, you can lose your dog, your house, and your girlfriend, all in one song. There's not that in the Christian music. Anyway, I'm getting off course. I'm sorry. I tend to do that. I apologize. So, point being, it should be easier for us to listen to him. And if you're going through those times where it's hard to understand that Jesus can't know what I'm going through. It hasn't been the same exact thing. Doesn't have to be the same exact thing, but it could be the same type of worries, same type of feelings, emotions. And above all that, that's why we have the Holy Spirit for our comforter. He's the one to direct us and instruct us, and he's the one to bring to remembrance of the things in the Bible, the things that people went through, and that they were real people. They're not fake people. They were real people. Or bring to remembrance testimonies of other people. Every time I want to give up, God brings back the person that I asked to speak to, that let me know their testimony to the exact position I had been in. And that's what keeps me going. Because, the enemy's going to sit there and fight you every way that he can. So anyway, if you have revelation about that, or if you feel that you had been told that before, please share it. But I thought that was so cool that it was Jesus' way of proving a person could be raised from the dead, to show that he did it. So it wasn't just like, okay, now the only difference, Jesus was raised from the dead, but then he ascended. So in that case, he's the only difference. But to show that it could be done. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. And I ramble. I apologize about that. And I get off course. I apologize about that too. Anyway, I hope it helped. I hope it gave you some insight. And keep pushing. Don't give up. And know that, yes, he is our comforter. And if you just call on him, and there are times I just don't know what to say, and I just say Jesus, 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 until I feel something, until I hear something, until something changes. And normally I get that, and I've explained it, it's like a whoosh over my head, and my head goes calm, and my heart feels love, and I know he's there, and he will do the same for you. And you don't have to come 100% clean. Don't think you have to have everything together before you come to him. That is the wrong way of thinking. I don't know who told you that. That's man's. That's not God's way. You come to him as you are, and he will fix you. And I am a living testimony. And I don't know too many Christians that I have talked to that have said, oh, I got my life clean. I came to him. Everything's been great. No. They've come with the way that they are, and God has corrected them. And again, he does not do it with forcing. He does not do it with, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. He does it with love, and sometimes you don't even realize it until you turn on your show and realize you don't want to watch it anymore. It's not a desire anymore. It's not a want. So please don't wait until that moment. You do not, I can't stress it enough, you do not have to be ready. Are you ready when you have children? No. I don't care how much you get ready. Never. It's the same thing. You learn as you go. Anyway, I love you. God bless you.